Welcome to episode number 147. This is week 23 of my PCOS weight loss journey. And this time, in this episode, we are going to talk about living into my future insulin sensitive identity, PCOS identity. And think of it like it's a future self work where you're thinking of, where you're working on shifting your identities. All right. So, this is week number 23. I had given myself end of December to work on this goal, and we just have like what, 8 weeks left, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not happen, but anyway, I'm going to work on an identity which aligns to that number. I might not talk about that after December, or maybe that's all I would talk about. I don't know. Every year we get a different goal, right? So we don't know. Anything is possible, anything is available. So today I want to talk about exclusively about PCOS reversal identity. Someone who, like, if you are someone who has PCOS, someone who is not insulin sensitive, is insulin resistant, like how does she become PCOS reversed, metabolically flexible? How does she become someone who's insulin sensitive? That's what we're going to talk about. So quick update. We started at 57 kilos in May this year. My goal is 50 kilos. And the lowest I have been as was 51.4 somewhere in July. And then slowly it crept up. Last week I was 54.3. And this week I am 53 kilos. So something worked, right? 1.3 kilo weight loss. And I didn't even realize that this shift happened. Like I have lost like 1.3 kilos until I looked at my previous notes because I don't do this work every day. I don't sit and think about my thoughts and feelings around food. I just give myself a plan and I go to execute the plan and I I just talk about it in this session. I prepare for this session and I just talk about it. Now, this is how it is in coaching as well. Like we decide on an action line, we decide a thinking and feeling plan, and we go to work in between sessions. And then we see what happened. So this week, what changed for me, like one of the integral parts was like I started working with another coach and whose methodology really clicked for me. Like I have studied a lot of things around coaching, a lot of philosophies, a lot of mindset related stuff. There's a lot in this realm. And I've studied quite some. And this coach literally clubbed it all together. And I was like, oh, she is having the missing piece. She's actually given me the missing piece, how to compile it all together. And she talks a lot about future identity and a lot of future based identity shift work and how embodying that self today is how it all changes. So here's the premise. You need to understand. I'm a mindset coach. This podcast is called PCOS Mindset Coach. So mindset is basically your thinking. So that noise in your head, like there is a narrative happening. Those are your thoughts. And some people don't have access to their thoughts. Okay, that's how they are. Maybe they're not aware of it, but you can just become aware of it. Like if you start journaling or whatever you say, or like just like start somewhere. And so that there are these thoughts in our mind chatter. Those thoughts make us feel something, and then we take action. And our actions actually create our reality. Now, these realities exist at three different levels. There is a spiritual reality wherein you can access the God within you, the higher intelligence in you, the source energy, the universal forces. It's all good there. Like it believes everything happens for a reason, everything is good, everything is working out for you, this is perfect, like whatever situation you are in, how this is perfect. That's what the higher intelligence is thinking. So there is that realm. Then there is a mental reality, which is basically our thinking. And then there is a physical reality, which is like perceived by our five senses: what we see, what we hear, what we talk, what we smell, not talk, what we smell, what we taste, and what we feel. So these five senses are creating an experience for us that is the physical reality. So if I want to reach 50 kilos of weight with regulated periods and a strong body, I can't just make that physical reality happen to me. It needs to align with my mental reality first. And I need to live as if I'm already in that mental reality for that action to happen. And here we are going to take help from the higher intelligence. So let me just tell you what my future self is. Who is she? She is, and I have like lengthy notes about her, about who she is. I really spent some time around it because I'm a mindset coach. It's like part of my work, my job description to do this work for myself. I'm my first client. So I have this lengthy document about who she is, and I sort of revise it every day. It is not something which is memorized per se, doesn't have to be exactly same, but at the same time, it also needs to be memorized. So she is 50 kilos, or maybe she's 48 kilos. She fluctuates between 48 and 50 kilos. She's strong. She can do push ups, maybe even a handstand, maybe one day a chin up. She runs, she lifts weights, her periods are regular, and she's very powerful. Like she's just strong, not just in her body, but also in her mind. Now, for her to exist, she needs to eat clean. In my body, for her to exist, she needs to eat clean food, which are like not so much, which will make my insulin high. She needs to sleep 7 to 8 hours every night, peaceful sleep. She needs to move daily, not too much, not too less. And also, she needs to have clean mind where she's not too stressed about anything. That's why I had actually created this free guide called 50 PCOS Habits. It's a list of 50 things that you can do. And I learned it from some other coaches, from other doctors actually, who help you reverse metabolically. Um, Certain actions that you can work on to reverse your metabolic state of PCOS. Now, PCOS is nothing but insulin resistance. PCOS, what is PCOS? It's just like a clinical, it's an ovarian picture, an ultrasound image which shows polycystic ovaries, where the ovaries have many cysts. There is a picture which looks like that. Why that is happening? Most of the times it is because of insulin resistance. Your insulin is not working. That's why you're going into this hyperandrogenism, and that's why you have all this picture. You've missed your periods, you're not ovulating, you're having excess hair, you're gaining weight. All of that aligns to insulin resistance. So that's why the opposite of that is insulin sensitive, the metabolic state of insulin sensitive. So the 50 PCOS habits, you can go to the link in this video and download that and check them out. Now, how we need to embody those 50 PCOS habits, right? Those actions to create the reality of becoming insulin sensitive and strong. Now, I'm in the perimenopausal age group. I know at some point my period will stop, but I don't want to. My dream is that it just stops one day. It doesn't like come frequently. It's not heavy. There's no drama around it. It just like one day it just stops. That's what I want. And I think I can achieve that. Now, how my periods again last week, right? I told you that there was some spotting, and it stopped now. So let's see what happens this month. But again, there is some traveling happening, so I'm like a bit. If I stick to my PCOS habits, I might still make it on clockwork. But I think I ovulated now, which is a bit late. So I might get my periods in 2 weeks. This is what I'm thinking. Like, but I felt the ovulation come in, like the slimy discharge, slight pain in the abdomen, all of those changes happened. So if that's the case, excellent. My period might come after 2 weeks, and they will not come during my travel. But if actually that was not, that's just me overthinking it, and my period comes next week, that is also good in a way because that's clockwork, right? I'm expecting my period to come after 28 days during my travel. And I don't want to postpone it, prepone it. I just carry on with it. So I need to basically embody that identity of someone who's insulin sensitive. For me to embody that identity, I need to execute these 50 PCOS habits and embody there. Now, I already have around 40, 30, 35, 38 sort of habits in place. Um, and I think knowing, like, if I keep on doing this work, I might achieve 50. Now, even after achieving 50 PCOS habits, if I don't get clockwork period, if I don't become strong, if I don't lose the weight, if I don't become whatever is my goal, I will change it. I will look into, like, okay, what are the some habits I can remove from this and I can start on some new habits. I will reassess it at that time. But most of the times, these, what I've written down in this 50 PCOS habits are good enough. Like, just work on them and see what happens. So we don't want to wait for that reality to happen one day. We don't want to just focus on diet and like expect change, magical changes. We want to do it all, right? Diet, mind, sleep, exercise. We want to embody all these habits together simultaneously now, right? And it's not happening for me right now, right? So, for example, this habit, I have one habit where I want to see the sunrise and sunset with my naked eyes without glasses. I can see right now sunrise because, my balcony faces the sunrise. But half the year, I don't see the sunrise. Now I can see. But sunset, I cannot see. I don't have a balcony which faces sunset. I just don't see the sun from anywhere in my house. So this week, what I did was I decided, you know what? My future self is already seeing the sunset. So I want to embody this habit of seeing the sunrise and sunset both. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna like quickly run down and go 5 minutes walk, and I can see the sunset. And I've been doing that for the last 4 days. I've been dragging my daughter, just wear your slippers, let's go, let's go. If you are on my Instagram or on my WhatsApp, you will see that story of like how I'm seeing the sunset. Now, that's what I've been doing. Now, this is a habit which I didn't have, but I figured out a way that, okay, it's just a 5 minute walk. Let's go and come. I'm at home. I don't have client at that time. I'll go and come. There are a couple of clients at that time that those days I don't see it, and that's okay. But my future self probably won't keep clients during sunset time. That is also something which like you need to understand. Like anytime you feel like, no, this is not what I want, change it. You have the power to change it, like work on changing it, saying no to people at certain times which are not convenient for you. Apart from that, the eating window, eating between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., that one is like been the hardest for me because I will land up eating at like 7:30 p.m., which is also early for most people's standard, but then I'll keep snacking after that. So now what I decided is like my future self, one who has 50 PCOS habits, she is eating before sunset. And I was like, huh, I don't have much time. I already keep snacking around that time. I might as well just eat my dinner. And I've been having my dinner. On first day when I had an early dinner and nothing after that, like I had it at around 5:30 or something, I couldn't sleep early that night. Like I just didn't feel sleepy. And that was one of my worries. Like if you have early dinner, you can't fall asleep easily. And because I've reduced the caffeine, after 12 p.m., there is no caffeine, it's not a problem anymore. I just fall asleep by like 10 p.m. My eyes are heavy and I've been sleeping. So that was like something which I just thought that, maybe I won't be able to sleep, but I'm sleeping well. So everything that the brain offers is coming from the past and it's open for exploration. It's not the truth, it's just a thought. So I'm like for the last 4 days, I've been eating early and I've been seeing my sunsets. Apart from that, I was also practicing habits like no coffee after 12 p.m., no sugar or sweetener after breakfast because I've been adding some sugar in my coffee and I didn't get the sweetener. And there were cravings like around 11 or 11:30 to have another cup of coffee with some sugar because this actually happened. And I actually thought, let's just get a sweetener because sweetener is better than sugar. But then I was like, no, we don't want sugar or sweetener both. So can we just like manage our mind around it, Rashmi? And I'm like about to make coffee, and I'm like, because you take actions, right? Like you take the action of going to the fridge and getting the cream, and you go into the cupboard and getting the sugar. So you can interrupt these actions, and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. The future self is drinking black coffee at 11 o'clock in the morning. The future self is not adding any sugar or any sweetener, no cream. It's it's not a snack. It's just black coffee for the hit. That's it. And I'm doing that. Also, in the afternoon, my fitness coach told me that just don't have tea. The tea is a problem. It causes bloating and stuff. And because we add milk in it, right? Indian people will add milk in it. Just have green tea, madam. I was like, okay, I'll just have green tea. And I just started having green tea. Maybe if I don't reverse my PCOS, I don't get to my identity, I might remove the green tea also. And one day, maybe remove caffeine also. And see, because these are all just like habits, right? Like we build these habits, we can break those habits. But right now, I like caffeine. It's not really harming me. It has antioxidants, it's good for the liver. So I'm going to keep it. It's just I'm not going to have it after 12 p.m. I'm having 3 meals a day on plan, no snacking here and there, no dinner time snacking. And that's like, oh my God. Okay. Regarding mind work and meditation, in the beginning, supportive thoughts won't come easily because think of it like these new habits are like your brain. Think of yourself as a caveman and you can stay in the cave and stay safe, right? Or you go out and be at risk of being attacked by a predator. Now, the thing is, you need to go out, otherwise, you won't have food, right? You need some food. There is no food in the shelter, in the cave. There is no talabat where we can order. Or there is no grocery shop or anything. You still like you have to get out of the cave. But the primitive brain, the animal brain in you will tell you, don't do that. It's dangerous. Don't go. Stay safe today. You might die. But the thing is, your brain knows that okay, this thing might not work. Like, what if the food just falls and I have nothing to eat? What if someone else was more hungry and I had to give them and I have nothing to eat? Let's just go and get some more so that I have some extra, right? So we need to go out. It's the same thing. Your current habits are causing you PCOS already, all the hormonal imbalance which is happening. And if you don't do something about it, it is going to worsen. You're going to get diabetes. You might even get endometrial cancer. You will get dementia. You will get sicker and sicker, and the brain is just going to get mad, right? You need to step out of the cave. You need to go to these new habits. But in the beginning, that's not what you're not going to have any supportive thoughts. So the thought which works for me is like, oh yeah, my future self who is insulin sensitive, she is doing that habit already. So you just do that habit in the beginning. And later on, once you have done those habits couple of times, multiple times, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't die, nothing bad happened, you get momentum. And you start getting confidence that you can do it. So here's what I do when it comes to using my mind at its best capacity. Like, this is what I know so far. I mean, there is so much information online, and maybe something else I will know, and I will come and tell you guys here. And I really want to create another YouTube series where I teach you this in depth because there's so many people who want to know these things, and I want to teach them. And I can't teach them in the session because, I want to coach them. So I'm going to work on it. I'm really working on it. So stay tuned. So first thing I do is before meditation, I write down my 50 PCOS habits. I know it's 50, but there is like something, there's a power in writing those 50 things. And like it could just be one letter or two words or one word. One this, two this, three this, four this. You need to write down and you need to revise. So it gives your brain direction, right? It's like revise, you have already done the checklist. Like even if you think of a pilot who's driving the plane, he goes through that checklist. Even when it is lengthy, even if it takes time, he goes through the checklist. If there's one thing missing on the checklist, they delay the flight. So anytime the flight gets delayed, they are like waiting for the checklist to become straight. Otherwise, you don't want to have a crash upstairs, right? So think about it. Revise that checklist. What are your PCOS habits? What are the 50 PCOS habits that you want your brain to know? Then, so I write those down and then I meditate to slow down my thoughts. Now, meditation and slowing down your thoughts is a highly complex procedure and it's a skill. It takes time to build, but keep at it and you will keep getting better and better because you have everything that you need to do meditation, to be like PCOS reverse, be insulin sensitive, get to your goals. You have it all in you. You are a fully, highly functional human being. So trust me, just sit in one place and close your eyes. For me personally, I close down as much sensation as possible. As much sensitivity. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to chant anything. I don't want to taste, eat anything, drink anything. I don't want to feel anything. That's what is like my optimal form of meditation. So I sit here behind, south facing, there, and I turn off the lights. If it's too hot, I put the fan on. If it's too cold, I have the blanket on so that it's perfect temperature. Nothing is distracting me. And then I close my eyes and I start counting down backwards from 100, or I just slow down the breath. Once I start, suppose, counting down backwards from 100, in the beginning, you will keep messing up. And while you're doing this counting down activity, your brain shifts its focus from whatever you're worried about, whatever your current thinking pattern is there, which is making your current PCOS habits. You stop that. And then you are slowing down, you're focusing somewhere, and all the sensory inputs have stopped. You're focusing somewhere, and suddenly the brain wavelength from beta changes to alpha. And you might start feeling warm. You might notice that there are lesser thoughts coming in. And you might notice this warmth sensation, open light. You feel like elated sensation will come. It might happen just for a few seconds, or it might happen for like, oh, this feels good. Stay there. I don't think anything. Oh my God, this feels good. Stay there. Soak it up. And when you are, so practice just doing that, stilling your mind, silencing your mind in the beginning. Later on, once you get good at that, then visit the vision. The 50 things you wrote, just like pick one and unleash your brain. And then you'll get ideas and let that work. So once you finish this meditation, 10-15 minutes, not much. You don't need longer. You can do this 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2-3 times a day if you can. If you can't, just regulate yourself. Everything that you're thinking, whatever actions you're taking, if you don't want to take that action, stop and regulate yourself. Slow down your breath. Regulate. Understand it's coming from the thinking. Slow down the thinking. You can change the thinking. So, meditation is where you get to plant the identity. And not just saying I can do this, but actually feeling it. And this is a progress for me also. I have not achieved it yet. If I had, I would have everything that I wanted. Right now, actually, I have everything that I want and I want more. So that's my work. Like, can you stay in like this current reality where you have everything that you want? Like today, you have everything that you want, and that's for you as well, right? Like probably you have some things going on, working well for you, right? Apart from this, I was also tracking habits. I created a spreadsheet to track my 50 PCOS habits. It's on Google Sheets. And I know it can be overwhelming for some of you guys. And I always tell my clients, I don't tell them to gather much data because it really overwhelms some of them. But personally, I love gathering data. It really brings me joy. Joy. It's a quirk that I have and I really love it. So I figured out a way to create checkboxes and I just have to click, 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 click. Then there's a formula which calculates how many habits I did, how much percentage of execution was there. And just seeing that number, it helps me build momentum. And I know, oh my God, 35 today. Excellent. That means just 15 to practice, right? So this week I'm just practicing 3, 4, right? Like the new ones. So if you are starting and you don't have a single PCOS habit in place, don't overwhelm yourself. Pick 3 habits for this week and not just any three. 3 easiest ones which you think you can do. Get those. Get those. Get those. Get those. Revise them every day. Check them every day. Oh, yeah, this is done. This is done. Then go to the next one. Next easiest one. Understand. You need to go to the easiest one. Even if your brain is like, no, I'll do the hardest one first. Some coaches will tell you that, do the hardest one first. I will tell you, do the easiest one first. And there is no right and wrong. But if you do the easiest one first, I mean, chances of you doing it will be higher, right? Like there are 50 things to do. Easiest, check, 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 done. Then go to the hardest. So just pick 3 habits this week and embody them as if it's your future identity. That's just like few days, weeks ahead of you. So this week's progress for me, I have been eating on plan. Most days I've been planning my meals, 3 meals a day. I've been exercising, walking daily. I've been working out with my fitness instructor. I've been self coaching during my walks, especially on days when I'm like, not in a good space. I listen to my vision on my walks. For the dream journaling, 2 dreams I remembered. I just entered those. I didn't push myself to do the dream work. I was like, you know what? I need to conserve my energy and I need to do something which is going to help me move forward. And dream journaling, if I remember the dream, I'll do it, but that's not my current focus. I have let that go for now. Unless I remember the dream, now that I've let it go, I'll remember all the dreams and I'll enter. Our brains. I have been seeing sunrise and sunset. I've been having my dinner before sunset. I am executing around 35 to 40 PCOS habits daily. No tea, no coffee after 12 p.m. So looking ahead, basically, if I continue doing this, I might lose weight, right? But unfortunately, I'm traveling this week. I'm going with my mom, dad, first time after my marriage for a short vacation. I'm taking my kid with me, and we are going to Kerala, and we're gonna see the place. I have been with my mom, dad to Kerala when I was a kid once. So I'm gonna go again. So I do have a fear that all my old habits are gonna return, like around travel, I just like lose my shit. But I'm reminding myself that my future self, the one who is insulin sensitive, also travels. And she embodies her PCOS habits even when she is away from home. So I used to be someone who used to hate traveling, and I used to drink to numb all my pain. But now I think I look forward to traveling. And so this is my chance to find out how I'm gonna like embody my PCOS identity, PCOS insulin sensitive, PCOS reverse identity, who I am in my future self when I'm traveling. So that's my week 23 update. I'm 53 kilos now, embodying my future insulin sensitive identity through my habits, through meditation, through mindset shift. And I'll see you next week with updates from Kerala. All right, bye for now.